Chapter 1, Deep Canyon Ranch to Cottonwood Creek. 5 o'clock in the morning, Monday, May 4th, Black Canyon City, Arizona. The desert is dark and full of nervous people. The Cocodona 250 begins here, 407 kilometers, between this dirt road and the finish line in Flagstaff. The first leg is the shortest of the day, but it sets the tone for everything that follows. From Deep Canyon Ranch, we travel 11.6 kilometers to the Cottonwood Creek Aid Station, climbing 316 meters and descending 280 meters. The cutoff is 9:50 a.m. Monday. My projected arrival is 7:24 a.m. Monday, a comfortable 2 hours and 24 minutes after the gun. Cottonwood Creek has no crew access, no drop bag, no sleep station, and no pacer. It is a water-and-go station. I am budgeting just 10 minutes here, long enough to fill all flasks. The next aid station is Lane Mountain, 40.4 kilometers further on, the longest stretch between aid stations on the entire course. Expected arrival at Lane Mountain, 7:20 p.m. Monday, nearly 12 hours of running through the hottest, most exposed section of the course. The most important number, though, is 4. 4 liters. Every runner is required to leave Cottonwood Creek with the capacity to carry 4 liters of water. The desert ahead does not forgive runners who travel light. So those are the numbers. Now, what does this segment actually feel like? It's 4:45 a.m. at Deep Canyon Ranch. There are 400 of us, some who have run this race before, many who have not, and all of us standing in the same circle of headlamps and trying to remember why we signed up. The starting line is the Cocodona 250 archway. There is a lot of fanfare and many cameras. There is Steve Adderholt, the race director, with a microphone and a count from 10. And then we are running. The first kilometer is uphill on a trail. The headlamps stretch out ahead like a string of lantern light. We climb up to the Black Canyon Trail, the BCT, which is a magnificent 80-mile single-track route that runs from north of Phoenix all the way to the Bradshaw Mountains. And we will be on it, off and on, for the first 2 hours of the race. The Sonoran Desert at sunrise is one of the most beautiful places on earth. The saguaros stand like sentinels. The ocotillos throw out their red blooms. The light comes up slowly behind the Bradshaws, gold and pink, and the temperature begins to climb because the Sonoran Desert is also one of the hottest places on earth, and we have a long day ahead. Near kilometer 5, the trail drops us into the Slate Creek drainage, dry waterfalls, loose rock, a scramble. This is the Bradshaws warming up for what they have in store. Past the drainage, we climb back onto the Black Canyon single track. At kilometer 11, a sharp right turn off the trail and onto a double track road. A short, steep climb. And then, just like that, we are at Cottonwood Creek, and the first checkpoint of a 407-kilometer journey is behind us. This whole region was Yavapai land long before any of us showed up with our maps and our timing chips. Anglo settlers came in the 1870s, drawn by gold in the Bradshaws. Black Canyon City was a stagecoach stop on the route between Prescott and Phoenix. Wells Fargo had an office here in 1872. Jack Swilling, the man who founded Phoenix, had a ranch nearby. The ruins of his cabin still stand. We are running through history. Most of us will be too tired to notice. Here is the route, turn by turn. The race begins at Deep Canyon Ranch in Black Canyon City. From the start corral, take a hard right and begin the climb up to the Black Canyon Trail. The course winds south and east through the Sonoran Desert. At kilometer 2.8, the route bears right onto a double-track dirt road. At kilometer 3.8, stay straight, leaving the Black Canyon Trail to remain on the rolling double track. Around kilometer 5, watch carefully for a not-so-obvious left turn down into the Slate Creek drainage. Climb up the drainage, dry waterfalls, and loose creek bed to kilometer 6.8. At kilometer 6.8, a slight right rejoins the Black Canyon Trail. At kilometer 9.5, the trail crosses a dirt road and continues. At kilometer 11, a sharp right turn leaves the BCT for a double-track back road. A short, steep climb brings you to the Cottonwood Creek Aid Station at kilometer 11.6. Every segment deserves a word to carry. Here is what I'm carrying through this one. The motto for this segment: begin with faith, endure with hope, arrive with gratitude. And the prayer: Lord of all beginnings, as I step onto this long path from Deep Canyon Ranch, steady my heart and strengthen my legs. Fill me with gratitude for the gift of this day, the beauty of the desert morning, and the blessing of this challenge. Help me to run not in fear or pride, but in humble trust, knowing you go before me. Guide each breath, each step, each thought toward your goodness. Lead me safely to Cottonwood Creek, my first watering place along this great journey. I run not alone, but with you, my rock and my refuge. Amen. A few practical things worth knowing before we go. This is a mandatory gear check at the start line. There is a mandatory gear check at the start line between 3:45 a.m. and 4:45 a.m. Every runner must demonstrate the capacity to carry 4 liters of water and must be issued a spot tracker. Get there early. The first aid station. Cottonwood Creek is 11.6 kilometers from the start. The second aid station, Lane Mountain, is another 40.4 kilometers beyond that. This means every runner is required to leave Cottonwood Creek carrying at least 4 liters of water. The section ahead is the hottest, most exposed, and most remote on the course. Try to start near the front of the pack to avoid bottlenecks on the early single-track climbs. Cottonwood Creek has no crew, no drop bag, and no pacers, just water and a quick refuel. Finally, the game plan for this aid station and the road ahead. Cottonwood Creek is a 10-minute stop. Fill all flasks with water. Drink as much as possible at the aid station before leaving. There are 2 water stations between here and Lane Mountain, one at kilometer 17, 1 liter maximum, and one at kilometer 40, 1 liter maximum. There may also be filterable water at Milk Ranch around kilometer 28. Keep the filter flask accessible. The goal in the first 24 hours is to establish a routine and avoid early GI distress. Target 200 calories per hour and roughly a half liter of water plus electrolytes per hour. Supplement with salt capsules in the heat of the afternoon. Next segment, Cottonwood Creek to Lane Mountain, the hottest, longest, most exposed stretch of the entire course.